Hey, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. This is Harry from Hasbro TV. Yeah, finally back with another video. And I've got Ellie with me. Ellie, you right?
Yeah, I'm all right, Harry. Looking forward to your show. As always, it's a brilliant show, so
Thank.
let's get going.
And first of all, big up Hashim because he sent a message just before. He's actually a Chelsea fan, so maybe he can enlighten us on what Pochettino is doing.
Mm.
And Mason Mount is on the way to United, I think, from what I've heard.
Yeah, bit of a strange
Yeah.
one. There you go.
So apart from like Kulusevski signing permanently, obviously we had the Raya talks like this week. And
Yeah.
then we end up with Vicario. So first of all, like, what do you think of the whole Raya thing? Because first of all, I'll say what I'm saying, and then you can say whatever you want to say. But I was quite surprised that they moved so quickly for another keeper because they were talking to Raya for so long, and I thought
Yeah.
he was their number one choice. And then for them to move someone like Vicario, who was kind of off the radar, seemed a bit strange. But what do you think happened?
I think the 40 million price tag put us off. Anything over 25 million, Spurs seemed to shy away, didn't we? It was only the Charleston that was a lot of money last season, and look how that one turned out. Hopefully, it'll be better this season. But with the Raya deal, I think there was a lot of complications in the actual deal. Maybe they wanted to do some add-ons as well. You never know because these smaller clubs they need to survive, right? And if they can get
Mm,
40 million out of that one player, that it's very good for their coffers, and then they can go and buy two or three players because they shop in the bargain buckets, don't they? These types of teams, but they get very
mm,
good bargain buckets, and I think this keeper that we've got, I wouldn't say he's bargain bucket, but he's only 19 million, I heard. So and he's a very good keeper, so I'm quite happy with that deal.
mm. My only reservation is, but this is based on my feelings with Spurs at the moment, is I'd rather have gone for Premier League proven players, because we kind of need some like assurance and calm at the back. And my only fear with someone like Vicario is maybe he'll come in and need like a month or two to adjust to the league, and by then, of course, we're gonna hopefully we'll sign defenders anyway. But by then he might not have settled and calmed that defense because our defense obviously we conceded 63 goals last season,
I
so.
know.
Like that's why I kind of was more for the Martinez or the Raya or like someone of that ilk because at least a Premier
Um,
League proven. With Vicario, I'm not saying he'll be bad. I've never seen him play, so I can't really judge. But um, don't you think it's strange they're not going for Premier
I
League
know what
proven
you
players?
mean. I
As in,
know what
as
you
in like,
mean because you know what you're getting with Raya, right?
yeah,
Because you've seen him year
mm,
on year out performing really well for Brentford, and they've
mm,
held their own in the Premiership as well. They even finished just behind us, didn't they? So,
mm,
um, do you know what? They must have done their due diligence on this keeper. They haven't just plucked him out of the sky like a lot of fans were saying on Twitter today. But it suits the narrative, doesn't it? But I personally think he's a very good goalie because I'm comparing him, right? So I said
mm,
this earlier on my stream. I said David Raya is Spain's third choice, and this lad, he's only 26, and he's 26, sorry, and he's already Italy's third choice
mm,
goalkeeper behind Donnarumma, and I can't remember the other guy. But you've got to take it with a pinch of salt in a way because we don't know what we're going to get yet because like you said he's not premiership proven, but I'm sure the goalkeeping coach will work on him and they'll get him up to speed and they'll say, look, there's none of this punching in the Premier League, you've got to make a clean catch and get him catching the ball, train hard before we actually get to that point when it's our first premiership game, so
mm.
he's Premiership ready before he even gets there.
Um, and the reason I bring up also because Vicario is an Italian goalkeeper. Do you know if there's any Italian goalkeepers in the past that have succeeded in the Premier League?
I would
Because
say
I don't.
Cudicini did. I'd say
Cudicini?
Cudicini,
Cudicini? Yeah,
Cudicini
yeah.
at Chelsea. But not a lot of Italians come to the Premiership
Yeah,
full stop.
that's another
They
thing that
don't.
surprised me. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Chelsea had about 90% of the Italians, didn't they?
Mm.
And Arsenal had 90% of the French when Weghorst was
The
there.
Viali, was it
Yeah.
Viali Zola?
Viali, they had Zola. Um, I think they
Was
had
it
a lot more.
Massimo Macaroni, or was it
Yeah,
Borough? Was it Middlesbrough? Yeah, yeah.
I think we've only had. I can't. I think we've only had one more Italian. I think we had Nicola Berti, didn't we?
Nicola Berti, yeah, that song, Nicola
Yeah.
Berti, yeah.
You know what? They're not going to come to England if they're a top Italian player. The
Mm.
only way they're going to come is if their head gets turned by the money. And now
Because a
there's
lot
a
of them
lot
tend to
more
stay in
money.
Italy as well, don't they?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do, because Italy's lovely, isn't it? It really is nice over there. It is.
But yeah, I just found it quite a strange thing going from Raya to Vicario, and I'll bring up the Italian thing up now because did you hear about this Paratici thing
Yeah,
as
like they
well?
said that he had a lot of doing with it because he'd
Mm.
scouted the boy early doors. So he's been doing his due diligence on this keeper as well. Now, listen, there must be some truth in it, all right, because he's got a very good connection with the Italian market. We've seen that when he was at Spurs, regardless where he is now. I think he would have said to him, if you're not getting the green light from Brentford, dropping that cost down, go for this boy. Yeah,
But
because
my
yeah.
only issue with the Paratici thing is, don't you think it's like a bad thing that he's got an influence still at the club, or do you think
Um,
it's just as a
it's a knock-on effect. It's what
mm,
he is. You know when you're having your Greek food and you've got the leftovers and you eat the
yeah, yeah,
leftovers, it
yeah,
tastes nice still. Yeah, like if you have a nice
yeah,
profeta. Yeah, it still tastes nice. So I don't blame the club because
mm,
Paratici is quite astute when it comes to signing players. Look what he got us. He got us Kulu and Benny. Not
mm,
many people outside of the Italian leagues were like very hot on those two players.
mm.
They maybe knew a little bit about them, but there's no one who really could say, bloody hell, we knew a lot about these players. And they came and they hit the ground running. All right, Kulu's sort of tapered off last season, but that's because of a lot of reasons. He was coming back from injury as well. So I just feel it's not a bad thing. And if he's got a few more up his sleeve for us in Italy, bring it on.
Because obviously the last one we brought was actually Galini. I just remembered now.
Yeah, but the thing
When,
is, Galini, I heard this. I was on a podcast on Twitter.
mm.
It was a guy called Jacko, and
Oh no,
there was an
Jacko. Yeah, I know who you're
Italian.
talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a good guy. He had an Italian journalist who had actually
Mm,
interviewed Vicario, and he said a lot of positive things about him, and he said a really poignant thing. He said that he took in a Ukrainian family and housed them during this Ukrainian and Russian war. So I think he's got good credentials. He's got good character. He comes highly recommended by this Italian journalist as well. And even he said that Buffon has come out and said at his age he was better than me and he will go on to be better than me.
oh.
Yeah. Now that's Buffon saying that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if a player like Buffon comes out and says that, you've got to take it seriously, you know. So, and I've seen him, Harry. He's a really good shot stopper, and he's really good at the high ones and the low ones, and he makes himself big like Schmeichel, you know.
Mm.
The only weakness I can
Obviously Casper
see,
Schmeichel. You mean Casper Schmeichel, right? Not Peter
no, I mean
Schmeichel. Sorry,
Peter Schmeichel.
Peter Schmeichel. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he
That's
makes
it.
himself big. Even Casper Schmeichel makes himself big. But
Mm,
there is a slight weakness in his game. He does punch a lot, and he parries to the front of the goal. He should be
mm.
parrying the ball away, right? But he'll learn that. He'll learn that because in the Premiership you've got top strikers who will take advantage of that. So they've got to really work hard on him, pre-season to get that stamped out of his game.
So you have watched him play a lot then for Empoli.
Yeah, yeah.
You have.
I've
Okay.
been
Okay.
watching. Do you know what? The first time I heard that we were linked with him was quite a
Mm,
way back, right? And I started watching him, but not like intensely. I thought,
mm.
sometimes you get linked to a player and then it doesn't surmise, does it? It just doesn't
Yeah. Yeah.
happen,
Yeah.
right? There's so many. But I was particularly interested in him because he was getting rave reviews at Empoli, and he actually, I think he won the goalkeeper of the year last year. So
Mm,
listen, he has to learn. He's only 26. He's still in the learning curve of being a goalkeeper. And when you come to the Premiership, you've got to be on point because you make one mistake, they're going to vilify you. Especially at that, the price tag will help him because it's 19 million.
mm,
But if it
mm.
had been more, he would get more shit.
50 million, 60 million. Because obviously
You
Liverpool
know,
signed Allison for, was it 70 or 80 million? Was it 70 or 80?
for who?
Allison. Was Allison 80
Yeah,
million?
I think they paid 80 million. I think.
And obviously Mendy, was it Mendy or
Well, he was
Kepa
worth
was
it,
like
man.
80 or something? Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Mendy, he's gone off the radar, hasn't he?
Mm.
And I don't think
We were linked with
Pochettino's
him for
too
a
keen
short
on him.
time, but
Is he
yeah.
going to the Saudi Arabian League, Mendy? I've heard
I don't
rumours.
know. Because I don't know what keeper Poch is picking. Maybe Hashim, do you know what keeper Poch is picking for his team?
I
Maybe he can
don't
tell us
know.
because he's a Chelsea
Yeah.
fan. Yeah, because obviously Kepa's had issues with like what was his name? Oh, I forgot the manager's name. Who when he walked off, he refused to come off.
Oh,
Sorry, what
yeah,
was?
sorry.
Sorry, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. He wanted him to come off and he wouldn't come off, and then he threw
yeah.
a hissy fit
Mendy's
on
going to
the.
Saudi.
Oh, yeah. He is going to Saudi, isn't he? You know what?
Mm.
They're going to get 10 or 20 times more than they're getting paid in the Premiership. So they're all like jumping on the bandwagon, aren't they? A lot of players are going there.
Someone told me, because on the topic of Saudi Arabia, that the top 4 or 5 teams, I think it's at least the top four, are owned by the same sort of not I don't know if the word's consortium, but it's the
Yeah.
same owner owns the
Yeah.
top 4 teams
Business
or
group.
something. Business group, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah. Sean done a program on that. Did you watch Sean
yeah,
Butler's show?
yeah.
That
I
was
haven't
pretty
seen that
good.
though.
Yeah.
But I
No,
know
you should
they
watch
own.
it.
Apparently, they
He
own the
does.
top four, so they can just monopolize the league now. They can, it's the
Yeah.
same top 4 teams, and they'll just buy. Because I think who was linked with Saudi Arabia today? I forgot who it was. It was some older player, but I can't remember who it was. Because every day now I open Twitter and it's Saudi
An
Arabia
old player.
make a big for someone. Yeah, look, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Koulibaly, Mendy, Ziyech are all on the verge
Koulibaly
of
and
Saudi.
Ziyech. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know what? There's a conflict of interest because, like you said, there's links to Chelsea and Newcastle. I
Mm,
think it was
mm.
Sean who said Newcastle and and Chelsea. They've got indirect links of that the main owners that own those clubs. You
Yeah,
know
I've
the
heard
one.
about this. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can't think of the name. Mention it. Sometimes I'm going to take notes.
Wait, was the internet there or not?
Are you there?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you froze for a bit. What's going
I, I
on? Hello?
lost you for a bit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you froze for a
Let's
bit.
try that. Is that better?
Yeah,
Yeah, I froze.
you're
It's
still
like
bit.
this room. Sometimes the internet doesn't pick up as good as the other rooms. But the thing
Oh,
is,
it's
if I
probably the
go in the other
Wi-Fi.
rooms, you're going to
Yeah.
hear all the noise.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But yeah, so
You
like
can hear
I do
me.
think there's something. Yeah, I can hear you. I do think there's something fishy going on because it can't be coincidence they're all going to
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia now. Yeah. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, because listen, they're getting 10 times some of players are getting 20 times more than that they were getting paid. The only one like well, Messi's not going to Saudi Arabia, he's going to America, isn't he?
Mm,
But he'll get money wherever he goes. Like his signing on fees probably about 20 million.
mm.
Do you know what I mean? They're getting Messi. He
He's
brings
going to
money.
he's going to Beckham's team, isn't he? So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And he brings money to the club. All those shirts that are going to be sold, all the little kids, they're all
Mm.
going to be wearing Messi shirts,
Messi,
aren't
Messi.
they?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And they'll follow him everywhere.
Yeah.
What a
I actually would have
superstar.
loved it if Messi came to Spurs, even for like 1 year, because I would have won and bought a
Yeah.
shirt probably.
I was hoping that Aussie our dealers could persuade him. Do you know what
Aussie,
I mean?
Aussie.
Yeah. And the only thing we'll probably get Lo Celso instead of Messi.
It's not called
Ah,
fish, it's called business. Okay.
it's
All
called
right.
business. It is. Yeah, it is business, but when you've got conflict of interest, it can be deemed as fishy.
Yeah, because it's like if say if there was a team
Capital.
in Israel that Enoch owned and we suddenly sold all of our deadwood to them, wouldn't people be like, "Oh, that's a bit weird"? Obviously, I remember
Yeah,
Chelsea had who did they have a relationship? Was it a Belgian club or something? They sent all their players on loan. Was it Belgium or a Dutch club?
yeah. From on loan.
They used to
I'm
loan
not
out all their
sure.
players. Was it?
I
Do you
think it
remember?
was a. Yeah, I
Was
think
it
it was a.
Vitesse? Was it Vitesse?
I think I think it's Belgium.
Belgian
I'm
team,
not,
yeah.
mind you, a Vitesse a Belgium team or a Dutch team?
Yeah, I thought they were Dutch.
I think they're Dutch. Yeah, they are Dutch because we played them in the Conference League, didn't we?
Yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah.
I'm sure we played
They're
Vitesse.
Dutch. They're Dutch, yeah.
Yeah, they're Dutch. Yeah. Either
But they
way,
loaned a load
you
of players
can't
to
have
there, I remember. Yeah.
you can't have a massive club with conflict of interests being owned by the same people. You
Mm.
can't. It's not right.
But don't you think, because us being Greek, this first thing that came to my head was, Galifianakis? Is it Galifianakis? He owns
Yeah,
Forest, and he owns Olympiacos as well. Is it Olympiacos, I think? Yeah. What
yeah,
was if Forest started selling all their Deadwood players to Olympiacos? Wouldn't someone think that was a bit strange?
yeah. But would they want to go to Olympiacos? The thing is, Olympiacos are a very good Greek team. They always
Yeah.
get in the Champions League because nobody challenges them. It's only Panathinaikos really, and
Yeah.
AEK Athens. There's three big teams over there. There's other teams that you know they're not so high profile, but they still do
Mm.
quite well. But I just feel you shouldn't be it shouldn't be allowed. I don't think because when you think about it, if Nottingham Forest, right, got into
Mm.
Champions League or Europa or Conference, and they were playing Olympiacos,
Yeah, yeah.
that's a conflict of interest, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, I just don't agree with it.
Yeah, it's very strange. I mean,
Yeah,
okay, so let's go on to another player, Madison, James Madison. Yes, he's someone I really, really, really want. Um,
yeah, I agree with you.
yeah,
He
okay.
fits the fan base though. Not everybody likes him, but what he can bring to the team, Harry, he
Mm,
can bring goals and assists, and that's what we need. Because since we lost Ericsson, we haven't had a creative midfielder who can like score 15 to 20 goals and also create just as many. So
mm,
that's like 30 goal contributions already into your team, and he probably will excel because he'll be playing with Harry Kane. He'll drop in that middle as well.
mm.
He will because Harry Kane is Harry Kane. He doesn't like to play up front too much. He likes to join the play and get into the
Rome.
action.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he likes to roam, and we'll have a finisher in Harry Kane. Leicester have never had that finisher apart from Vardy when he was hot, but he's tapered
Mm.
off now, hasn't he?
But obviously, like you said about Ericsson, we missed Ericsson since he's left. But
Yeah,
do you think they're going for Madison because I think Ange, I was reading Ange gave them the green light or something to go for him. But do
yeah,
you see Madison fitting into his team? Because I think he plays a 4-3-3. People keep telling me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's very
Is it?
good on the ball, he won't lose
Mm,
it. So I think, yeah, he will fit in the team, and he can move the ball really quickly, and
mm,
he's got a little turn of pace as well. Like goals are currency in the Premiership, right? We've seen it with Man City. They wouldn't be the same team, right, if Haaland didn't finish those 36 chances.
yeah,
You
yeah, it's
take that
true.
away from Man City, they wouldn't have won the league. So you've got to look at it in that respect. Goals are currency, goals are gold. So because he can bring goals and assists, it's a very good investment. But I heard Simon Jordan, even Dermot brought it up on our show, that he said that we haven't made any move for Madison. We haven't made any bid because he's been
No, I don't think
talking
we
to
haven't made an
Levy.
official bid. Well, it
No,
depends who you believe, but I know there was rumors of that double bid with him and Harvey Barnes for 50 million, but
yeah,
that might just be paper talk. But
yeah,
Fabrizio
it is.
Romano reported something like Spurs are. I need to get out the tweet. Sorry, it said something like,
Yeah, get up the tweet.
yeah.
Tweet, tweet.
What did he
You
say
have to
about
get it
him?
accurate.
Yeah. I saw it earlier today, so I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Give me a second. Tottenham are still working hard on Madison deal as they plan to insist in the next days, despite Newcastle being in the mix. Spurs preparing to an approach to Leicester, as Postecoglou has approved Madison as a key target. So we haven't actually made a bid.
Yeah.
They're just preparing to make a bid. I don't. I
Yeah, the
guess.
thing is, they should move quick on it because he's a
Mm,
very popular player, and I bet you,
mm.
this is what I envisage is going to happen, right? Arsenal are not going to get Rice. Rice is going to go to Man City, and then they're going to come in the mix for Maddison.
Madison. Oh,
Yeah, because
and we
they've
won't
just
get him if
got.
he goes. If Arsenal come in for him, I don't think.
He's an Arsenal fan as well, isn't he?
Mm.
He's
But
a
do
boyhood
Arsenal need a
Arsenal
player like
fan.
Madison? They went and bought Havertz from Chelsea.
Yeah, but he's like, I don't know what to say about him. He's a player that plays everywhere, but hasn't got like any define defining moment to make him stand out. All right, he scored the winner in the Champions League final, but other than that, can you remember anything that Kai Havertz done of any particular good thing at Chelsea? No,
No.
I've got a future Chelsea son-in-law, right?
Yeah.
Who's going to be marrying Sophia. So he tells me he's shit. Sorry, excuse my French, but he doesn't like him, and he's a
Mm.
die-hard Chelsea fan as well.
I want to say something in
So
Havertz's
he's
defence though. Like
got
Chelsea were using him as a
him.
striker though, and he's not really a striker. Oh, you froze again.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm saying
that's it.
Chelsea. Oh, it's back now. Okay, I'm saying Chelsea were using him as a
Yeah, you know,
striker, and he's not really a striker. Havertz was playing as like a number 10 mostly, wasn't he, or like a second forward?
yeah, he
Yeah.
was playing like just behind the front two, wasn't he? He wasn't, but he was joining the attack. He just was.
Mm.
He's just not a good finisher. He's not like a deadly finisher. It's like they've had two like that. They've had Werner and Havertz who haven't hit the ground running.
Mm.
And look, Werner's gone back to Germany. I think he's at RB. Is he back at RB Leipzig?
Yeah, he went back.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
he went back, and now Havertz is going to Arsenal. So you don't score the goals, you get shifted on.
But I do like. I
Luckily,
think with Havertz,
Richarlison's
if
got one
Ars,
more
if
year.
yeah, look, we used him in a variety of positions. At the start, he was more of a midfielder than he was poor. But he's got a point though. I don't think Arsenal need Madison. They've got Havertz and Odegaard now. I don't think they need him. But
No, but you never know. They might be looking for a squad. Like they'll say, right, we've got Odegaard. Odegaard, he's one of those players. Like if Arsenal are playing really, really well,
mm,
he excels. When they're not playing so well, he sort of hides.
mm,
That's what my impression of. Like when I saw him against Man City, right, he was overpowered and he just went missing. And you need your star players to step up in those massive games. I don't think he's quite the finished article yet, Odegaard. Whereas Madison, I think if they've got him and Odegaard, you imagine they'll be much better force.
mm.
Because
Also
I
for
can't see
squad depth to
Havertz scoring a
challenge
lot of
City, you
goals.
need like two teams really.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. You need you
Yeah.
you need your first 11, and then you need at least 8 or 9 brilliant players, right? That can fit in when the other players are not playing so well. You can bring them in. Like Man City, they've got Gundogan. All right, they've lost him now, but they had Mahrez to come on, Foden to come on. They had Rico Lewis to come
Alvarez.
on,
Yeah.
Alvarez, who's fantastic.
I really
All
think
these
he's yeah.
players. And they
But
even drop bloody De Bruyne to the bench sometimes. They can afford that luxury.
because Bernardo Silva didn't leave, he stayed in the end.
Yeah, Bernardo
Yeah.
Silva, because I think probably Pep probably said to him in his ear, look, we're losing Gundogan. He wants to
Please
go.
stay.
Please stay, please.
Because
We wouldn't win another
in
treble.
January they sold. Remember they got rid of Cancelo or they loaned him out, and there
Yeah,
was a rumor that Bernardo Silva was up for loan or something like that.
yeah,
I
there
think.
was a rumour.
And I remember screaming saying Spurs should try and get him on loan because
Yeah. What a player. He's fabulous. I think technically he's their best player. Maybe De Bruyne actually. De Bruyne is their best player. I think I would put him as their second best player.
Hmm. I think Bernardo Silva, for me, is really underrated because
Yeah,
I think he's a bit more versatile than De Bruyne. I know De Bruyne can play
yeah,
wide, but I think the Bernardo Silva's actually played all across that four, like in
he
the
does.
middle, on the left, on the right, even further forward. I think they used him as a fake number 9 one game, and he
Yeah,
still was one of the best players. But he was up for loan, and I was like begging us to release. Obviously, we
I
didn't do anything.
know. But a player of that caliber,
Mm,
we would have had to been challenging for him to come to us. We were
mm,
all right when Conte did his rant. We were fourth, and we could have gone third, but we weren't playing well, and there was other teams behind us who had lots of games in hand. So it was quite a false position at the time. Yeah, I just think that was a rumor. I can't see Pep Guardiola losing his. He's like a talisman in the team. He
mm.
gels everything together, and the way he moves the ball is fabulous, and he
I
nurtures
really
the
like
ball so
Bernardo
well.
Silva. Yeah, I
He's
really like him.
brilliant.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Do
Do you
you
know when
guys
we
think
played
Enzo
them?
Fernandez can play Ericsson from Tottenham?
Do you think Enzo Fernandez can replicate Christian Eriksen from Tottenham for
Poch
Posh?
from over 2012.
Um, Maybe he's a talented lad, but he's still learning the game. I still see him as quite a raw player. He's
Mm,
not the finished article yet. He's still got a lot to learn, the boy. But I think under Poch, because Poch is no doubt he's a very, very good coach. You
mm.
know, he'll get him playing in another way. Yeah,
I think Poch will probably sort out that Chelsea squad within the season
yeah.
or two. Yeah,
We just don't
like
want him to win anything.
yeah. I have
He's
nothing
finished
against him
second,
actually.
Pot.
Like even
Finished
though I didn't want him
second.
back, I I have nothing against him. Even though I didn't want him back, I'm nothing against him. And I
No.
would be personally, I would be more angry if he went to Arsenal. With Chelsea,
Oh
I'm
my
not so
God.
bothered.
That wouldn't have happened.
I know, but I'm
He,
saying.
it would. It's a scenario that would never have happened. I'm a bit disappointed that you're wearing red today.
All right. You know
Don't
what?
matter.
You say
We'll
that.
forgive you. We'll forgive
You
you.
say that, but everyone says I look good, nice wearing red. So, so it's like, well,
Tell them to
it's
do one. Put the nice white crisp blue, like white or blue, right?
because
But the
it's
nice
funny.
blue, that Spurs blue.
So most of my t-shirts are either like black-ish with like designs on it, or I
Typical.
have other sort of other colors. But
Yeah.
I think so. I went to the gym and I didn't bother changing, so I just kept the same color.
Okay. Fair enough.
Never red.
I still don't forgive you.
Because you know what? People hate me for saying this. I was thinking, in the Matrix they have the red pill and they have the blue pill.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of changing this channel to like Red Pill Spurs, but I thought there's no way it's going to work because people would take it completely the wrong way.
They'll hunt
Because
you
Red
down and
Pill
kill
means like
you.
the
What are you on
truth.
about?
Red Pill means like the truth. The blue pill's like the fake. Have you seen the
Yeah.
Matrix? Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
know what you mean. I know what you
But
mean. But they would still hunt
it
you
won't go
down.
down. It wouldn't go down very well. People
They'll
think,
do a
why is he saying Red
reinvention on
Tottenham?
you.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
But
dear.
like for me with Madison, it's more the fact that we've been watching him since Norwich, as far as I remember,
Mm.
and it took us this long to get to a point where we're finally making like a proper move for him. As if you were to believe what Romano says, why does it take us this long to go for a player? It's been how many years since he's been playing for Leicester?
I know. You know what? We scouted him. David Pleat scouted him, and we
Mm.
should have got him when he was a young lad.
And
But
Norwich, yeah.
yeah, and it just we didn't get it through, and then and you know what? He's at Leicester. It's not as if all right, Leicester won the league and they won the FA Cup, but they haven't got pedigree like Spurs. We've got a fantastic history, you know. Um, I just feel we just act too slow on things. We don't get things done quick enough. That's why I was very surprised that this Vicario went right through really quickly. I was so shocked. I thought,
Don't you
what?
think it's more to do with the fee though? Because it, like you said, it's below 25 million. So for Spurs, that's okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not about the money, it's about the player, whether they
Mm,
feel that he's the right type of player. Because he could have cost 60 million, but if he was the right type of player, I still think Spurs would have bumped up the money if they thought he was worth it. Whereas
mm,
maybe with Raya, they just don't feel that he's worth it. Maybe that's the case. You know, maybe they looked at him again and thought, no, I think this other lad is better.
mm.
And a lot
It's
of people have been
possible.
turning their heads. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think with
Either way,
Madison,
I'm
I'm
glad
very
that we've
for
got a
him.
goalkeeper.
With Madison, I'm
What do
very
you
for
think of
him because, like I
Brandon
said,
Austin?
well, apparently he's better than, is it Whiteman? Is that the other keeper's name?
Yeah,
Alfie
Alfie
Whiteman.
Whiteman's
Yeah.
quite a small guy.
Mm,
He's not like physically strong in the goal. Whereas when I
mm.
watch, I don't know, when you go to matches, you always see Brandon Austin warming up,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
occasionally you'll see Alfie Whiteman as well. But it's
Mm,
mainly Brandon Austin, and he is like 6'3", strong looking, and he's got good pair of hands. You know, I think they don't think he's ready yet. I
mm.
don't think, otherwise he would have got the number one spot, wouldn't he? They just don't think
But
he's
don't you
quite ready
think
yet.
that we could? I know this is. I'll probably disagree with everyone when I say this, but say if we kept Forster, um, hey, from Cyprus.
Oh my God, I wish I was there. I'm going
Yeah.
in September.
Um, but say we kept Forster as a number one and we had Austin as number two. Wouldn't you think Austin would have more of a chance in even every year or so to become the first choice and have a proper crack at the spot? Because
Yeah,
now with signing another keeper, you're basically telling him that unless Forster's leaving next summer, not this summer, next summer, and they're going to have Austin as a number two the summer after that, doesn't it push him away from having a chance though?
he's still quite young. I think he's only, is he 21 or 22? So he's still quite young. But I can see your point. I can see your
Yeah.
point. If I was Austin, I would be thinking I need to go on loan,
Or
right, to get
somewhere, yeah, yeah.
experience. Because
Mm.
it's not just sitting on the bench. What are you going to learn? You're not learning. You're just learning to warm your bum.
But because Alfie Whiteman, the reason it's interesting you brought him up because he signed a new contract last summer, didn't he? Last year or something, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He signed one, but I don't
But why?
think.
If he's not good enough, why did they give him a new
I think this.
contract?
I think because they're playing him in the under 21s, aren't they, or the under
Mm,
23s? So, you know, if they were good enough, they would be in the team. Just put it that
mm.
way. They're not ready yet. They're not ready yet.
Oh, so yeah, I don't know. I know Stell speaks a lot about Austin, and he says Austin is like the main one that the coaches
Yeah,
tell
he
him.
is.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
better than Whiteman because I see him warming up, and like
Mm,
Whiteman's, his stature's not big for a goalie, and not that you can't be small, but he doesn't look the part. He just doesn't look the part. Whereas Austin does, and he's very commanding when he makes the saves. When he's warming
mm,
up, he looks really good. I saw him play. I think it was him when we played Southampton in the first game. It might not have
mm.
been him, it might have been another kid, but I think it was him. I'll have to look that one up later. But either way, they're going to get there. He's going to get his chance. But now we've got Vicario, he must be thinking, well, Forster's
When?
not going.
Yeah.
When am I going to get my chance?
Mm.
Yeah,
Unless Ange does the whole, cup keeper and league keeper thing, but then that
yeah.
would be Forster, wouldn't it? Most likely.
Do you know what? I would give it to Brandon Austin.
Mm.
I really would, especially the early rounds. If we draw a lesser team at
Mm.
home, not away, because we're notoriously bad
Yeah, yeah.
in the
Tottenham
cup.
can't.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, what is going on? Our club has gone into disarray, isn't it, in the cups? We used to be a really brilliant cup team, not anymore.
Mm. When I was growing up in the 90s, and I was really young. When we used to go, the cup games were like a big thing. Like we were
Yeah,
like, yeah, even though we only won in '99 when I was about 7 years old, and I remember going to the game
yeah,
actually. But the cups were like a big thing. My dad would be like, "Oh, we've got the FA Cup, the Carling Cup," as in
Yeah,
And the teams, I think we kind of took it more seriously back then. I know we're in
yeah.
the 90s, everyone points to the 90s as like a bad thing, but I think
Did
we
we
took it more
do?
seriously.
Was it 2012, 2013 we got to the League Cup final, I think, and 2015 we got to the League Cup final because we lost to
Mm.
Man United on penalties, so that could have gone either way.
That was
And
on
then
the
we lost,
Redknapp, wasn't it? Was that 08? I
yeah,
think that was 08. Yeah,
that
yeah.
was under red. So 2008 we won it, and then 2013,
9.
I think we lost.
2009, we were in the final.
Is it 2009?
Yeah, and then
2008 we won it, didn't we?
yeah,
And then did
09
we
was
make it
Redknapp season.
2009? Yeah, we lost
Yeah,
that to Man United, didn't we? I
penalties.
thought,
Yeah,
oh
Bentley
yeah,
missed the
because we got to
penalty.
the semi-final, didn't we? We get to
Mm,
the semi-final of the FA Cup and the semi-final of the League Cup, and we lost to
mm.
Chelsea in the League Cup semi-final and Man United to the FA Cup final when Dele Alli scored that quick goal
I
within
remember.
20
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then we lost 2-1, didn't we? That
That was the
Andrew
semi-final, wasn't it?
uh,
I think it was a
yeah, that was a
semi-final.
semi-final. That was a
Yeah,
semi-final. But then we did get to a final and lost to Chelsea, didn't we? Under Poch.
that was 2014 or 15, the
I
first
think
season. Yeah,
2014-15 that was. Yeah,
yeah. I went to
yeah,
that because I think
yeah,
Mourinho man mocked Ericsson. I remember he put Zoom on Ericsson.
yeah, because he was their
Yeah,
manager, yeah.
yeah. And then
And then we
obviously we
got to
lost the
another
final. So.
final and lost to Man City. So really, we could have won another 4 cups, couldn't we? Yeah,
But I just think the desire to win trophies, and this is again probably a slander against Levy, but the desire to win trophies in the 90s was, I think, a lot more than back and now. In the 90s,
yeah,
I just always, when I used to go to cup games, the atmosphere was totally different. And then
yeah,
once we
true.
had the 2000s, it was all, oh, let's go. That's true. Let's go to, get
The
top four,
bridesmaid.
get
Yeah,
top four and stuff. And I thought, honestly, I genuinely thought, because obviously in 08 we won the League Cup. In 2010, the first time we made the Champions League. I honestly thought the club was going to finally try and push that
yeah.
next level, and that didn't happen in those years under
We didn't
Redknapp.
invest in the team.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
should have invested.
Mm.
Even under
Redknapp
Redknapp,
had
we
such a
should have
good team.
invested more.
Mm.
That's the story of our club, though, isn't it?
Mm.
Since Levy's been in charge, the investment. All right, we do spend money, but we've wasted a lot of the money. All right, so we have to get better at it. Yeah, spend our money more wisely. Yeah,
Mm.
and really do scout our players properly, not just what they're like on the field, what they're like off the field as well.
And Dombele, yeah, is bad. A good example of that, isn't it?
Yeah, not on belly.
Yeah, he's coming. Apparently, he's
All the
staying now,
talent,
isn't
no
he?
application. Well, the thing is, well, what we're going to do with him, he'll have to be a bench warmer because I don't see
Mm.
Ange possibly putting him as a starter.
Yeah, top four is our
No.
trophy now. But what I'm trying to say is, I bought into the club. Like I said, I've been Levy out since 2012, but I bought into the club's belief to make the Champions League for a reason, and we just haven't pushed on since then. So yeah,
Yeah. And look, we could have bloody won it in 2019, but bar Mane kicking the ball right at
Sissoko.
Sissoko, hits his knee and goes. You know what? That wouldn't have been given handball under the new rules as well, which was a
Mm.
shame. That killed the game, didn't it? Because Liverpool just sat back and they
Do you
just
want to answer
soaked up the
this?
pressure.
Uh,
Why
I
did we
might be.
let Danjuma go? He looked really promising. Well, I saw him against Nottingham Forest and he didn't look promising to me. I'm just,
Yeah.
Maria, I'm not saying he couldn't have shown promise because you can't judge a player on just snippets because we
Mm.
really only saw snippets of him. When he came on against Preston in the FA Cup when he scored, and then he had a few cameo appearances, so you can't really judge. So they must have seen something at the club that they didn't like.
Mm.
Maybe, he might have been a little bit of a bad boy. He might have been, he wasn't applying himself properly. You don't know what goes behind the scenes. Why one player makes it and another doesn't. I just didn't see anything that excited me in that particular game, and they took him off quite early.
My opinion on Danjuma is, this is going to sound really harsh, but so obviously Brian Hill wanted to go out on loan. Remember, he wanted to go back to Spain.
Yeah,
And I think, and this can sound really harsh, but because Danjuma was in the country and his agent came to the country looking for a club, remember, and he was on the
Yeah,
verge of going to Everton. I think Spurs saw
yeah,
him as like a convenience. So I thought, oh, we can
yeah,
bring in someone in to fill in that spot because obviously Gil wanted to leave, remember? So
yeah. He did.
yeah, so I
He'll
think they
stay in
just.
Spain, I reckon. I don't think we're going to see him again.
You don't think? I really like Brian
No.
Hill. I
I
want him
like
to
him, but I
stay.
just don't think. I think his family want him to play in Spain. He's gone back to Spain with Sevilla. He's just won the Europa Cup, hasn't he? So they go into the Champions League now. So he's going to
Mm,
be playing in the Champions League. Why would he come back to Spurs? You know,
That's true. That's true.
he's not going to come, is he? He's still going
But
to
I
be
really
our
like Brian
player on
Hill.
loan.
Mm.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
let's have
I
a
talk about the
look.
final. Yeah, you talk about
I
the
love
final.
Rob Belcher.
I don't think
He's
he was
a
good
lovely
enough, and
guy.
he won't be just jumping on him given how poor. Yeah. In Maria's defense, though, I kind of agree with that. He wasn't given enough game time.
Yeah, I did say
Mm,
that. You can't judge a
mm,
player on the amount of football we saw from him. But what
mm,
I saw against Forest, it it wasn't because he's not good enough. I just don't think he felt part of the club. It looked
mm.
like he was disjointed from the rest of the players. He
Yeah.
just didn't look like he fitted, you know. Um, he looked like a lost soul on the wing, and no one was passing to him either. So he was like, he was giving up on himself, and then he got taken off because it just wasn't working. Maybe
But
for another club, he goes back to Villarreal now. Maybe
what position though would he have played? Because I didn't know what his position was.
you know what he could play like a Dembele role, I reckon, like a number 10, because like
Mm,
he's quite skillful. What I've seen of him, he's got good ball control and he's got good energy, so he can run. He's got a good engine on him, but I don't think he would be able to. I don't think he's going to cut it in the Premiership. There's something about him that's missing, and I
mm.
can see why the club didn't hold on to him.
So I'm going to move on to another Leicester player now because I do think there's
Yeah.
truth in this.
Oh,
Harvey
yeah.
Barnes. Yeah.
Mm.
So I've actually been watching some other streams. And I don't think people really spoken about Barnes a lot. And um, personally, I think he's a good deal if we can get both of them. I think it's a brilliant deal because Barnes can play all across the front pretty much. He's got a lot of potential. I think obviously because unfortunately Son will probably be first choice straight away next season because
Yeah.
it's Tottenham, so they won't change
Yeah,
it
of
up, and
course.
Kulusevski will be first choice. So someone like Barnes is probably better to bring in because he's young, he's upcoming, so he might be a bit more patient to take his chance. But yeah, what do you think of Harvey Barnes, Ellie,
I like
as a
him.
player? Yeah.
I like him. He reminds me a little bit like who's the West Ham player? Bowen. He reminds me of him because he's got a lot of pace. He comes in from the wing and he scores quite a lot of curling goals.
Mm,
He's got good technique. He's quite strong on the ball. Hard to knock him off it. And he's a very tenacious player as well. He gets stuck in. He's not one that goes missing in a lot of the games. All right, they've been in a relegation battle most of the season, haven't they, Leicester?
mm.
But you can see there's a player there. Yeah, it's worth a punt, to have that sort of caliber of player coming off our bench.
I
I
really
think
like the
it'll be
look of
good.
Barnes. I've
Yeah,
always liked him. Yeah, I
he's a
think
he's a very good technical player, isn't he?
Bart Cousins will probably get John Barnes.
I
but
would change his first name to John.
but I think because obviously if he comes with, it will come with Madison. I can't imagine they won't come together. I think it's
Yeah,
because I think what a lot we've missed, if because a lot of people obviously point to the Pochettino era or even sometimes the Redknapp era, is just having partnerships across the pitch. So
yeah,
at least with Madison and Barnes, they have some sort of
they
partnership from
do.
being at Leicester before.
And they both score goals. I think Barnes
Mm,
scored 13 goals. And I think he
mm,
had one assist, 13 goals. So
mm.
he's probably one of those players who's a little bit greedy. He'll go for goal rather than strip it off.
Yeah.
Whereas Maddison, he can do both. So it is worth having him, though.
Mm.
As somebody to come off the bench. Say we're struggling to get a goal, and he's got that really good, connection with Maddison. So I think
Mm.
it'll work well. When you need a goal, and he can score goals. What midfielder have we got that scored 13 goals? None. We've
None.
got
Yeah.
Højbjerg who scored 5, and Bentancur, he got injured, all right. He scored 6, but we haven't got anyone else into double figures.
Mm.
It's only Sonny, and he's more or less a striker winger. So, and he had a poor season, and he still scored more than Benny and Højbjerg put together.
Hey, Savlaki or Yiros? I'm going Savlaki personally,
Oh,
but
Savlaki.
yeah,
Savlaki.
yeah,
You know what? That's like saying chalk or cheese, isn't it?
yeah,
Gyros are good, but they're nothing on souvlaki,
yeah.
especially if it's done on hot coals outside.
You know what I really
You
like?
know?
I prefer more like the chicken pieces. No, suvla. I prefer suvla or like grilled chicken
Yeah,
on the thing more than suvlaki. But if I had to pick suvlaki or Yiros, I go suvlaki every time.
I like
Yeah.
pork souvlaki. I think pork
Alright.
souvlaki is lovely.
See, my
Yeah.
uncle in Cyprus does the best pork suvlaki. So.
And you know what? Chicken in Cyprus tastes much different than chicken in
Mm,
England.
mm,
It's not
yeah.
more a richer flavour, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
because they rear the animals better. I'm not being biased against England, but we feed them well. And
Well, I
it
buy
does.
most of my like good meat. I think it's from like the Greek places in Southgate. To be honest, like Fios and stuff. They do good
Yeah,
meat. Their
they
meat.
probably
Yeah.
import it from Cyprus. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised.
And
They
also,
probably back
for anyone watching this, Cypriot potatoes, they're
it.
better than English potatoes. Oh, you're frozen now. What just happened?
Oh my God, side potatoes. I'm
Cypriot
not being
potatoes, yeah.
biased. There's King Edwards, and there's Mari. What's it, Mari? What's the other one? Mari Pipers or something like that. Anyway,
Is that
but
what it's
Cyprus
called?
potatoes.
Oh.
You make those with lamb gleftigo. Oh, lamb gleftigo. Yeah.
But like,
Lamb
I can
gleftigo
taste
is
like,
because
mm.
go on.
But like with Cypriot potatoes, I can taste the difference between like I know like if you gave me a roasted, say one English one and one Cypriot one, I could tell you the difference because the Cypriot
Yeah,
ones are so much more tastier. Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
the color of them when you peel it, it's more of
Mm,
a richer color. And
mm.
when you put them in the oven with the rosemary, you can use goose
Yeah,
fat.
the rosemary. Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God,
yeah.
bloody
So if any
delicious.
English person's watching this, if you want better potatoes, go buy Cypriot potatoes.
Honestly, we're not telling a lie. They are
I'm not saying it's
absolutely
biased. It
delicious.
actually tastes nice.
We're not even being biased because they are delicious. The taste
Yeah,
bus tells you. Yeah,
yeah.
come
They
on.
actually like they're so good. Like it makes me happy I'm
Yeah,
Cypriot because I wouldn't have known
yeah.
them otherwise.
My
So,
husband, he likes Keo beer as well.
mm.
From Cyprus, Keo beer,
Did you
halloumi.
see they reopened Wilton's because they did it up a bit, but they
Yeah,
changed it now.
yeah, because
Yeah.
they do a lot of Greek food in there, even though it's got an
Mm,
English type name, Wilton.
mm.
In our chat, we got an old fella called Wilton McDonald. He comes in
Oh
your
right.
chat sometimes. Yeah, he's lovely. I think he's an American guy. Yeah,
Oh,
but yeah, it might be an American company, but they just do Greek food. I'm
Cypriot.
not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
Cypriot
Because
food. Yeah,
they're in Cyprus. Originally, it was in Cyprus, and then they opened one in Southgate. So,
yeah. I
mm.
think the best Greek food is probably in Green Lanes, isn't it?
Which one?
They do the.
Do you mean
Do you like
Visaki or?
organic? Well, the one that's properly made with the wine, the
Mm,
proper one, not the one that you can get in the packet. The proper one that they hang up, and it's all dried, cured meats. Yeah,
mm.
and they put wine in it. They put peppercorns, and they spice it up a bit. Yeah, better than baston because I don't really like baston.
I don't. It's too strong. I find it too strong. The taste is just yeah.
It's a bit bitty inside. It's a bit grainy. Yeah, whereas
Mm,
Luganigo, you bite into it, it holds its substance. Yeah, lovely.
Mm.
Come on, bring on the Greek food. That's why no Greek are slim. Like
So I think
big thin. That's
we're
what I
done with
mean.
Harvey Barnes, and big up to Spurs
Tapped
podcast
over.
because he kind of helped me segment well to this. On our back line now, Tap Sober.
Yeah.
So he's the latest centre back that's been linked. I haven't really seen anyone like Hincapié or anyone else really been linked with us that much recently. I think Tapsoba, does he play for Leverkusen? For
Yeah, he plays
Leverkusen,
for Bayer
yeah.
Leverkusen. Very good player. I've been watching him as well.
Mm.
Since we've been linked with him, I watched him. But I also like that. What's his name? Victor Nelson at Galatasaray.
He's another one being linked with, I think.
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
been linked with
yeah.
him, and we've also been linked with the Fulham boy. I can't pronounce his name though.
Anderson, do you mean Anderson? Or
No, the black gentleman.
Adebayo? I can't say it. Yeah,
Adebayo or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, and also there's news. Some reports say we're going to be linked to Laporte, but I can't see him coming to Spurs.
Mm.
Nah, he'll probably go to a really big club. Like
Hey,
we are a big club, don't get me
mm,
wrong, but I think a club that's gonna further ahead in their project, or
mm.
someone who's the finished article, like
Like,
Barcelona
like
or Real
Arsenal.
Madrid.
Or do you
Yeah,
think go back to
or even
Spain?
I hope he don't go Arsenal. Flipping, he will
Oh,
improve. Yeah, because
yeah.
Arteta's got such good links at Man City.
Mm.
He can tap one of their players, and
Thanks, Hashim. That's his name. Tosin
that's it. Tosin
Aderabayo.
Aderibayu. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tosin. Let's just call him Tosin.
Okay.
Do you imagine we could say Tosin, Tapsoba?
but is Tap sober? Is he experienced enough? Because I'm kind of a fan that I want us to sign one experienced player in the
Yeah.
back line, like a. I hate to use this guy as an example, but someone like Naybet, and then
Mhm.
someone else of like a bit younger, say 25, 26,
Or like a
to come in and play
Defry,
alongside
maybe.
him. Mm,
Because I think we should try and get Defry because he's like so experienced. He's
mm,
31. He's coming to the end of his career, but he can teach our backline so much. Because those Italians, they know how to defend. They
mm,
are they're masters at it. Yeah. So to have him, although he's Dutch, he's been in the Italian league for so long, right?
mm,
I think he can come and bring some really good experience to our back line, and
mm.
he'll make Romero better because he'll talk to him and say, "Look, don't dive in. Just wait your time your tackle well." Yeah.
There were two centre backs that I thought of before, but they're off the market now. So Otamendi was
Yeah.
one I was championing for like,
Yeah. I know
and
why.
then and then
Why.
he's take the other name out of my
Chris
mouth. Chris
Smalling.
Smalling. A lot of people were saying Chris Smalling
He's
because
very
he's got
fast
Premier
as
League
well, isn't
experience. But he signed a
he?
new
Yeah.
contract as well, so
Yeah, because
they're
he's
both
with
off the market
Mourinho. He's
now.
not going to leave, is
Otamendi.
he?
So the day after I said it on Tottenham away that Otamendi was someone I wanted, and everyone laughed at me. He signed a new contract literally the next day at Benfica. He's their captain. So
Well, I
yeah.
wouldn't have laughed at you because with
Yeah.
Romero for Argentina, they had a fantastic partnership.
Another because I almost said Chris Smalling as well, actually in the same stream. But another one that someone I was reading on Twitter was is it Medina? Is he the other Argentine defender? Is it
Medina,
Yeah, I think he's on the
yeah.
market now. Someone was telling me. Yeah,
And the Argentinian defenders are tough, aren't they? But we need
yeah,
one that's different from Romero, someone who's got a cool,
mm,
calm, collected head, you
mm,
know, to calm him down as well. Yeah, because he got sent off twice in two important games for us last season.
mm,
Yeah,
mm. Because you either kind of if you Romero's going to be in the team regardless, you need to either buy him like a partner, an experienced
yeah,
partner. And is other names that have been linked with like Tapsoba and Tosin and
yeah.
Nelson, are they really the players that you think will come in and partner with Romero and calm him down, or talk to him, or
I think Tap Sober will because he's a very cultured player. He's very good on the ball, can bring the ball out. Nelson's a different player. He's a more combative tackling player, but he's got a fantastic pass on him. He reminds me of Toby Alderweireld, the way he pins the ball and he cuts it. You watch him after this stream finishes. You watch him. He cuts the ball and it spins and it lands right on the player's foot. He's fantastic at passing, and he's made it into the Danish national team. I think he was on the bench this time round, but I like the look of him, and he's strong and powerful as well, which you need. But he plays on the right. That's the problem. We don't need the right centre. We need the left,
Left,
sort of,
yeah,
don't we?
yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, we shouldn't need to have a
Could be
defender
a
to
squad
babysit
player.
Romero. He shouldn't be a hothead. That you have a
He
point,
shouldn't be
Dan,
a
and I think
hothead, but he
I think
is. That's the
were you on
problem.
Perchy's show the other day? And I think I was watching it, and he was on Perchy's show. So big up Perchy and big up Dan. Yeah, but
Yeah,
yes,
I like Percy.
he's right. But unfortunately, that's what Romero's like. I don't know whether
Yeah,
this is why when people told me, "Oh, Romero's world class," I disagree with them because you can't really have someone going around chopping people in half and expect him to have a good defense. And I think
that's
it's
where he needs somebody to talk
yeah.
to him. Like, I think Ange will take him to one side and he'll say, "Look,
Mm,
boy, I don't want you diving in. Win the ball cleanly and
mm,
fairly and bring it out for us." Because when he brings the ball out, he's quite a cultured player, Romero.
mm,
He can pick out a pass. He's done it quite a few times last season. Some turned into goals, some didn't. But he's good on the ball. He's very calm at the back as well. Like, he doesn't rush himself.
mm.
He makes sure he gets the right pass. Yeah, but
Yeah,
he
that's when my dad
remember
gets
playing
angry
with
because
bloody
he goes, Romero
Dyer.
slows the game down. My dad gets angry when Romero does that. He's like, he slows the games down. Why is he
I
taking
think
so
it's
long?
good. I think
Yeah.
it's good. When you think about it, right, he's got
Mm.
bloody Dyer next to him. He's thinking, oh my God, I'm going to look for another player. And he's looking for another option. And sometimes he doesn't find another option because the
Mm.
movement in the middle is not as good, right? So
Slow, it's slow, yeah.
he passes it to the side to Dyer. Then Dyer passes it back because he doesn't want the ball. He's just like,
Yeah.
get the ball away from me.
But I think one issue I have, and I kind of agree with Dan a lot. So my assessment of Romero is that I think he is like he's got quality, like there is a player there. But I think because he's playing with so many rubbish players around him, he thinks he's like too good for them, and he thinks he
Mm,
can take his time. He can like because he knows he's better than them. And I think that's part of the problem. I think if you were to
yeah,
sign someone who he respected
yeah,
alongside
I
him,
agree.
or someone who was better than him. I know it's Tottenham. We're going to sign anyone that's better than him. I don't think, but or someone like he respected a lot. I think he may behave differently, but
Yeah.
I don't know because I don't know what he tells to other players. I'm just watching his body language, and when I see him play, I think he just looks like he's. When you just have that arrogance when you think, oh, I'm
Yeah, I
better than all the other
know. You
players.
get that
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Romero. Yeah.
yeah,
He sort of sticks out his chest and I'm the
yeah,
man. But
yeah.
I think that Tapsoba is going to be
It's
better than
similar. Is
him.
he similar?
No, right?
Oh,
He's totally different, right? He times his tackles really well. He's really good at reading the game and he's got a turn of pace so he can
mm,
recover. He's not like long legs who can't recover, right? But he can recover and he's really good aerially and he's good at moving the ball quickly. Right, so
mm.
he'll be an asset to our team. That Tapsoba.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
like
true.
him a lot.
So we're nearing the end, but first of
Yeah.
all, how many more players do you think we need?
Well, I said on our stream earlier today we need at least 4 or 5. I
Mm,
think 4 or 5 because when you think about it, we're going to lose quite a lot. So even I reckon 5, not 4. I think we need 5. We need a cam. We need 2
mm,
centre backs. I think we need another player who can score goals up front or to put on the bench. And then I think we need probably another right wing back. Maybe if we bring Spence back rather than put him out on loan again, then it will be
mm.
4.
When you sound like Graham Roberts.
Yeah, we do. But
Yeah,
even Højbjerg, right? They touted him as the next Graham Roberts.
I
But
remember it. Yeah,
this
yeah.
season, right? Because he's lost Benny and he's had to play with Skip, who's fairly wet behind the ears when it comes to top flight football, right?
Mm,
So what do you expect? What do you expect? You can't expect miracles when you've got a 2-man midfield and one of them is a rookie. Because Skip is a rookie. He's only had one and a half years of Premiership experience, but it hasn't been a whole 1.5 years. You know, it's been choppy bits, and then he got in the team because Benny was injured. Yeah, so
People are going to
I
say
think
I'm a bit selfish, but I think we need 7. And
I don't think we're
the
going to
reason I
get
say
7. We probably will get 5. I think we'll get 5 because that makes more sense. Because I don't think they're going to stretch
the
the
reason I
budget to
say
7.
that is because the way I view the squad is we need a goalkeeper, obviously, regardless. I think we
Mm,
need 2 centre backs. Everyone agree with that. But I
yeah,
think because of Adoji, I think I spoke about this before, but I think he needs to play further up and then
yeah.
have Adoji further up, sign another left back because we need one, and then Emerson, he can be the backup right back, and you're gonna have to. I don't know. I don't necessarily use Spence, but I do think we need someone on the right, like you said.
I
So
think he should
that's
play
5 players
Emerson.
right there, and then you've got Barnes and Madison. That's 7.
I think he should play Emerson and play Porro as an all-out winger, and
Yeah, I
then
thought
have
about Porro. That's what I'm saying. I thought
Kulu.
about Porro. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think Kulu should play like a more. If we don't get
Central.
Madison, I
Mm,
think he should play more just off the wing, so he can
mm,
pick the ball up from Porro as well. When Porro can't beat his man,
mm,
he can pass it inside to Kulu, right? And my brother made a good point this morning. He said when Kulu played on the right, sorry, on the left, I think
mm,
he played on the left. I can't remember what game, but my brother did tell me, but I've forgotten. But he was really good, you know, in
mm,
Sonny's role. I think he played there a couple of times, but I personally think he's better just off Porro. Yeah, like a midfielder, but just off Porro, and then have Madison central,
mm,
and then Sonny on the left, and then Udoji just backing up with Sonny.
mm,
So you've got 2 players coming down the left, 2 players coming down the right, and 1 through the middle, and you stay close as a unit because that's how Ange likes. He doesn't like you too far apart. He
mm.
wants you to be close to one another. So when you're passing your quick passes, you know you're not losing the ball because the further you are away from each other, the
Oh yeah,
more
the more
chance you've got
chance.
of
Yeah,
losing
yeah,
the
yeah.
ball. Yeah.
But don't you think? Also, another thing that worries me, and I hate to say this, is you got Bentancur's out till next. Yeah, smash the like button.
It's December,
Yeah,
January, isn't it?
yeah. So, do you think with the options we have, we're going to be able to cope? Because, uh, could he play Madison deeper in that case if he's not going to have Bentancur?
Um,
Because
well,
how are we
let's
going to
see
cope
who else
without
we
him
can
if we don't
bring.
sign a midfielder?
Yeah, it's true. We've got Pape Sarr as well, remember?
Mm,
If we give him a chance, because he's a very cultured player. I like the look of him. He's
mm,
very calm on the ball, you know. And then we've got Basuma, remember? Don't
mm.
forget Basuma, because
Got Skip,
he could
Hoiberg,
be,
Bissouma, and Sarr, I guess, but
yeah. And then Benny's injured.
And Dombele in quote
And
marks.
Dobele, and if they keep Lascelles, so you don't know what the club's
Mm,
plans are yet.
mm.
You know, I wouldn't have thought they would keep Lascelles because they could get good money for him. I think
He
they
might
could
go
get
Villa.
probably
Yeah,
30
yeah.
million they could get for him.
Mm,
25, 30 million easily. Yeah.
mm.
I think he's only 26, isn't he?
Yeah,
Lascelles?
yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
Emery really
25
wants him, so I think he'll
yeah.
probably go to Villa.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But
Either
mm,
way, like you said, if we get Harvey Barnes and Madison, that would be a good deal.
I think attacking wise, we're sorted if we get those 2.
Yeah,
We don't need
because
to buy any more attacking players.
you're bringing. I think Madison. I think he scored 18 goals. Was it?
He's got
And
didn't he
Harvey
20 or
Barnes.
30 goal contributions or something last season? I
Yeah,
can't
I
remember
think
what
he
the
got
number was. Yeah.
18 goals and 13 assists. And
Mm.
Harvey Barnes scored 13 goals and 1 assist. I might be slightly wrong on that, so I do apologise. But I know that Harvey Barnes scored 30. So if I'm right, that's 31 goals scored and 14 assists.
Mm.
That's a
Between the
lot.
two pair of them, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. That brings a lot of points to Spurs.
And they're both
Yeah,
homegrown as well,
yeah,
so that helps. We can get rid
yeah.
of Dyer and any other
Oh,
English players that we don't
get
want.
rid of him. Boot him out the
but
club.
but so yeah, so I don't know. I think those 2 will sort out the attack, but we need to focus on. And would you give another chance to Regulon? Because
Um, do you know what?
Sessegnon's surely he's going,
I
isn't he?
liked him, but defensively he's subject. If he was just played as a like not a defensive wing back, just an all attacking winger, he'd be all right to come off the bench if Udoji's having a bit of a mare. If he's having a bit of a nightmare and he's not, doing the business, it'd be good to come on because Reggie's got pace, and he's got a good cross on him. And you know what? I was who was it? Somebody in America. I think it was Tommy Talksport. He said that he was doing the stats of Regulon, and he said he's very good aerially as well, which I didn't
I,
even know.
I really like Reguilon. I still think we should give him another
I think he's
chance.
a decent player. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, and he's matured a bit now, and he hasn't got Conte running him to the ground in training.
You know, the first observation I made of Reguilon with Conte in the first game, obviously he played Reguilon
Yeah,
on the left, and I could see
yeah,
because where I sit is west, right? So where I saw,
yeah,
you could see Conte screaming at Reguilon down, telling him to go on the touchline the whole game,
yeah. I know,
and you can see Reguilon was like really like, what's going on? Why am I being
I
shouted at? I don't have this experience. You could tell he was like proper
know.
shocked. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I know. And I like Regulon. He's just, I think, because he wasn't finishing those chances that were made for him, right? Because he
Mm,
had quite a few chances, and if he'd finished them, people might have thought differently about him. They would have given him more credibility.
mm,
Um, yeah, but he's a decent player. He's a good one to have on the bench, I think. It'd
mm,
be sad to lose him. I think he can offer a bit.
mm.
Yeah.
And just before we finish up, anything you want to say before we finish up? First of all, where can we find you again? It's Tottenham Hotspur Till I
Right,
Die.
so
And
THFC Till I Die, and then
mm,
I've got my own show now on THFC Till I Die. It's called
mm,
Ellie Ladies Breakfast Show, and what I'm doing at the moment, I've just done one on England Lionesses, and I've got fantastic response on Twitter, and I've got pretty good response on YouTube so far. I've done the Ireland team, and the next one I'm doing is USA and Canada. So I'm highlighting all the teams, their managers, so people get to know them, and I'm also posting on Twitter, WhatsApp. I'm doing lots of different things so people can get used to all the star names. I don't expect everybody to know the whole teams, but
mm,
if I pick out a couple of star players to look out for, right? So if people want to watch the Women's World Cup, at least they've got some grounding, yeah. And it's going to be an exciting tournament, I'm telling you, because there's going to be some brilliant goals flying in, yeah. And Beth England from Spurs has been chosen. So come on, Beth England.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I know who that is. Yeah, yeah, I know.
Brilliant striker. She scored 12 goals in 12 matches for us when we
Oh,
signed her from Chelsea. But
oh,
I'm very disappointed that Ash Neville didn't make it because she's a very good player. But they play her out of position. They should really play her midfield or wing back, a
mm.
proper wing back where she's attacking. Because we had weaknesses in defence and we lost
Oh, oh,
Sadulski.
all right, okay, okay.
Yeah, we lost Sadulski, one of our Canadian defenders. So she was playing defensively most of the season, and it doesn't suit her game. She's more of a progressive player. Yeah, and he's done her in now because she hasn't been chosen. Ah, anyway, don't matter. At least
Bad
Beth
management,
England's
bad
in.
management.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bad management all round. But you know what? The new manager at Spurs, I think
Mm.
she's an interim manager at the moment, Vicky Jebsen, but I think they're going to make her the manager. That's what I'm hearing
Oh,
because I'm
oh.
Spurs ladies ambassador, so I've got a little bit of an inside track. What I've been hearing at the club, yeah,
And on that quickly, so Mason's still
yeah,
about. Are you happy with that or not? Because
yeah.
I'm
Um,
getting to a point when I'm just like, shouldn't he go out and go somewhere to get experience and come back? Like, go to manage a
you know
club
what
in the championship or something.
you, Yeah, I agree with you, but they like him so much at the club. And because he had that massive injury, I think they've got
Mm,
even bigger, softer spot for him. But you know
mm,
what? In football, if you want to progress your career, he's not going to learn as much. If you do a proper management job, like Parker did, like
mm,
all right, he hasn't been successful up to now, but he's on the learning curve and he's still young, right? So he can still get better, all right? So I think he should have sown his seeds somewhere else and got more experience, even like a team in the championship, and bring them up even, because he is a very talented coach. A lot of people at Spurs really do rate him.
He's only
Right?
31 as well. He's my age.
Yeah, he's young.
Yeah.
He's very young. And all right, you know what they say, right? The best coaches are usually not the best players.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, apart
Apart
from
from
Pep
Pep, I
Guardiola.
guess.
He's the exception to the rule. My brother was telling me, right, that people don't give Pep enough credit for his coaching. He said he's the best coach he's ever seen because the way he coaches those Man City players, it's fabulous. Yeah.
Also, I mean, Declan Rice is going City. If anyone doesn't know,
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's what I think. 100%.
it's so funny. It's so funny because as soon as they sold Gundogan, I saw Fabrizio's tweet the day after about Declan Rice, and I was like, City are going to go for Declan Rice now, aren't they?
Because he's the perfect man to fit Gondwan's position as well.
Honestly, I think Rice is probably a better deal than Bellingham. I think.
Yeah, definitely. You know who I like at West Ham? That Bowen.
I think Jared Bowen. Yeah.
I think he's a fabulous player. He's just at the wrong club. All right, they won a trophy.
I like Berama as well, but I don't know if he's
all right, but he goes hot and cold.
I was gonna say, I don't know if he's consistent enough. Yeah. But Jared Bowen, we were linked with him before we went to West Ham, I think.
I know, he's a very good player. I think he's even better than Barnes. If we're going to get anyone like in that sort of ilk, he would be the one to bring in.
But I don't think he'll sell to us. That's the difference, I guess.
Money talks. We put down the money, we can get him.
Well, we got Defoe from West Ham, so all those years ago. Yeah,
we did. Yeah,
I love Defoe.
I think we need. You're probably more nearer the mark, 7 players, but I don't think we're going to get it.
We're probably not going to get 7 players.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
Nah. Levy will probably
the issue is just the fullbacks, like the 2 centre halves, but it's like the fullbacks and Bentancur. Without Bentancur, are we going to survive? Obviously, I hope I'm wrong, and we do. We do like all right without them, but obviously, it's just I'd have Reguilon as like a backup and sell Sessegnon and buy another left back at the same time, but that's probably too much.
Yeah, I think he'll fit into Ange Postecoglou's plans, Basuma. He's a very technical player, isn't he? And
if Basuma can step up, then we'll be all right. So
yeah. I think this is the season that he's going to show his true colours. Come on, East Basuma. Yeah.
Because he was brilliant for Brighton when he played against us. So
brilliant. When he played when they would be, and he was fabulous all of that season. It wasn't just that game,
Yeah, it's only because it was an experience that I was there watching it when they beat us. So that's the thing that was in my head. So yeah,
I know. So I went with my daughters, and right, and we beat them in the cup 3-1, and he scored a brilliant goal. East Basuma. He doesn't score a lot of goals, but when he does, they're usually worldies. Yeah. Let's take stock. See, make sure we fill those really important positions this time. Because if we don't, we're going to have another season like we did last season, because we won't have enough technical ability in the team to get us over the line. Because teams that have strengthened really, really well.
But like I said, we just need to pray that they all gel, and Pochettino gets a preseason with them, so they can all just gel as one team.
Yeah.
Because that's the biggest issue with us always. That we signed some players too late, and then by the time they come in, the season started, and
Tell you what, feed the Spurs players Souvlakia and Cyprus potato, and they'll play out of this world.
Can you imagine at half time they start having kebabs or something?
It's like we're strolling through the Spurs, like when you get a ticket in the premium section. I had one bought for me, and I went through and I saw Ledley King and I saw Darren Day, and I saw a few other celebrities. Nobody like massive, but it was so different in there to where you're, like where
normal,
you normally stand. It's like luxury. Flipping hell.
All right, so before you go, come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, come on, you Spurs.
And of course,